Welcome to the Airbnb Roadmap, the podcast designed to navigate you through the entire journey of short-term rental success. Whether you're just starting out or ready to take your hosting game to the next level. My husband and I became super hosts within just months of launching our first Airbnb and have proudly kept that title ever since. With over 350 reviews and an overall 4.95 star ratings, we picked up a hack or two I'm excited to share with you. In each episode, I break down the strategies, insights, and industry secrets that set profitable short-term rentals apart. From choosing the right property, understanding local regulations, and obtaining your listing to go beyond just the basics. I'm here to share everything you need to succeed. So if you're ready to map out your path to Airbnb success and unlock the full potential of short-term rentals, join me on the Airbnb Roadmap. Your journey starts here. Hey everyone, I'm Brittany Wenninger, and welcome to another episode of the Airbnb Roadmap podcast. Today I have Matt. He is the owner and founder, hey Matt, of STRIQ, which I heard a couple people call it STRIQ. How do you feel about that nickname?
Well, I've got to ask you, how do you feel about it? I mean,
I like it, but it's one of those things that, like, if you name it STRIQ, are you willing to stray away from that, or
it's so funny because I never realized how much we would actually be talking about this with different customers or investors. But like every conference we go to, it's like, is it STRIQ or is it STRIQ? And then we had there's 6 or 7 or 10 people that get around, and we have this debate. And I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm good with the other one. I'm just glad we're talking about it. So, I mean, long story short, we called it STRIQ in the very beginning, obviously, because short-term rental IQ. We tried to, do the whole play on making smarter decisions about your short-term rental investments. But we had some friends say, hey, that kind of looks like STRIQ. And we're like, oh, I kind of like that. And then Natalie Palmer and Tatiana, when we went up to level up your listing, they made a booth for us with a bowling alley. And they're like, hey, y'all need to bowl a STRIQ. And so anyway,
I love that.
And Rob Abasolo here in Houston, he's like, you guys should call it STRIQ. So anyway, it's funny. STRIQ is kind of what we say publicly to masses, but those that are in the club, often call us STRIQ.
Okay, I will be there at Level Up Your Listing. I think it's in March of 2026, and that'll be the very first time I go there, and I'm super excited. I'm kind of promoting it for another podcaster, which is all good.
Yeah.
But I love that she was like, hey, it's kind of called STRIQ. We need to have a bowling alley. That's so much fun. And I have a buddy of mine, and my maiden name is Brager. He calls me braggadocious. And I'm like, you know what? I appreciate that. Only you can call me that, though. And I don't know if that was a situation of I really like STRIQ, but it's kind of going to STRIQ, and I don't really like STRIQ. So I was trying to make sure that we're saying it properly.
You personally like STRIQ better?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Because it makes more sense.
Yeah.
STRIQ, if you have an app called STRIQ, doesn't what is that? Is that a bowling game? Is that?
And then if I Google you, is it STRIKE? So
yeah. Anyway, I like STRIQ. Anyways,
you can call us whatever you want, but technically it's STRIQ.
Okay, what is STRIQ? How did you come about it?
Great question. So I'm actually a real estate broker. I've been doing brokerage for 11 or 12 years. Started in commercial real estate, and then started doing STR investing back in 2020. And really, STRIQ really came about because of my own journey and my co-founder's journey of, we got in kind of like many of you out there, you kind of stumble into it. And then all of a sudden your eyes are open. You're like, oh my gosh, this asset class is incredible. I could either go in the stock market and make little gains, or I could go invest in short-term rentals, and the gains are pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, to be honest.
Unbelievable, especially in the days of the early or the lower interest rates. But the good thing is you can still find deals now, which we'll talk about later. And so when I started, I got in and you probably know this pain too. Like you would look on Zillow forever, try to find something in whatever market you're looking in. And you go to
Mm-hmm.
Airbnb trying to find revenue projections. And then you go to your spreadsheet and you take forever, and it would take 30 minutes, an hour, however long for each property to analyze it. And it would spit out a number at the end, this cash on cash number. And it would say -7%. And you're like, wow, God damn it.
Waste of my time.
You do it over and over. And you're like, and so a light bulb moment went off in my mind. I was like, why don't we just put all this stuff together? Why don't we just bring the MLS, revenue projections, and spreadsheet all together? And what if you had it in like a mobile experience, kind of like Zillow, and you could just put in a filter and just ask the app to tell you exactly what you want to see. And that is, I want to see anything above 15 or 20% cash on cash return. I want to see anything that makes $3,000 a month in cash flow or more, and just show me the properties. And so I pitched that idea to my co-founder, because he was kind of trying to solve the same problem with spreadsheets. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, let's do that. And so we went and met with the developer, and here we are now. We've created STRIQ.
That's amazing, because I know that is a huge pain point for me. And I have so many investor clients that I work with, and they're all looking for something very specific. And it takes forever for me to just like go on, my MLS and try to find a property that is actually a good fit, and the numbers work too. And they actually are, cash flowing however much that they want to. And when I stumbled upon your app, I was like, oh my God, like my pain point is finally answered. I am able to go on, quote unquote, the STR Zillow is kind of what I view it as. Yeah. And say like, hey, like these are actually properties that are performing. Let's check it out. And we can kind of like play around with the numbers and all that. Like when I came across this app, I was so excited. I was like, finally someone created something that I needed, and it will save me so many hours of looking. And honestly, like it gets exhausting to look and look and look and just like send a client, property. He just says no. And I'm like, oh, it took me forever to find that property, two, analyze the numbers. And this solves so much for me, which is quite amazing. Yeah. And when you go on the app, it again kind of looks like Zillow, and there's a lot of green dots, a lot of orange dots, and a lot of red dots. What happens on the back end? And it says like, hey, like this one property is a green dot. It's a good short-term. It could be a good short-term rental potential, but then the next door neighbor is a red dot. So how does that work?
Yeah. So great question. Getting into the logistics of all this stuff.
Oh boy.
And this is the beauty about large language models, data, AI, and this is where we're going with this, is when you can aggregate all this data. It's kind of like, you go into ChatGPT and you can literally ask ChatGPT anything you want, and it spits out immediate answers because of how far technology has come. Well, that's really what we've done with our infrastructure. Is we've got an incredibly huge, quote unquote, data lake of millions of pieces of data, of MLS data, revenue projections, and we're calculating all these cash on cash returns behind the scenes, so that when you go into the interface of the app and experience it, the hard work's done for you, and now it's just revealing these opportunities. So when you've got one house next door to the other, and one is, call it yellow or green, and that one's red. Yep. There's a few factors of why that could happen. So location matters, but if they're right next door to each other, that's kind of factored out. Bedroom count matters. And like head count. So, oftentimes if you have a bigger property with more head count, you could probably make more money than, a smaller property. That's not the case everywhere, but, largely that is something you see. And then purchase price is also a big factor. So it's like, if one house is more priced competitively than the other, that could be why. Interest rates, if you could get a better interest rate for one than the other, that could be why. So there's a lot of different factors that we pre-calculate in and then spit out the results for that.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I was looking at one property and I was like, all right, this is green. That's a good one. And then the one right next door, I realized that, yes, it does need a lot more work to it, but still could be a great short-term rental.
Yeah.
But then I realized that, the purchase price was a little bit higher. You can't really have 12 people like the green property was showing, and the red one right next to it was showing 8. So I was
Mhm.
like, all right, like the numbers are actually working. I have to trust the system and
Yeah.
just let it flow. And I know that, did you just buy a property yourself, or maybe someone else bought a property that STRIQ said that was going to be green and you wanted to kind of like prove that it's
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. We actually, it actually just got closed and funded yesterday. So,
Nice. Congratulations.
so a guy saw what I did in College Station with my College Station house that I found on the app. So that was kind of like the first property that we had found and used as a case study. And then we used Summer Led to really deck it out and make it awesome, which it turned out to be amazing. So he saw that vision, was like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. My daughter's going to College Station. I want to,
Nice.
similar experience. He's like, hey, can you help me do this? And I was like, well, let's get on, the way I would do it is get on the app and see what is revealed to us. So I got on the app and just hovered over College Station. So this is kind of what you could expect if you're using it or anyone else on this call or listening, is you just get on there. I just typed in my filter on the app of anything above 15% cash on cash return and anything that made over 75,000 in revenue. And his budget was, nothing more than like $600,000 purchase price. So I put a cap at that. And then boom, like hundreds of properties vanished and only like 5 properties remained. And one of the properties was this one that he bought. And I sent it to him and I was like, hey, Parker, check this one out. It's a 4-bedroom. It's a 15% cash on cash, but there's a garage that you could convert to another bedroom and force and add value. There's a couple of other like flex rooms that you could convert into more bedrooms or a game room. I was like, dude, this could be like a 6-bedroom house with a game room, huge backyard. You could put a pickleball court in, extended cover seating area. You don't have to put in like an underground swimming pool, but you could do like a cowboy pool.
Yep.
Murals, hire Summer Led or another group like them and deck it out. And I said, if you do that, your revenue can go from like 70,000 to like 130,000 in revenue. And so we ran through all the calculations, including his capital expenses, which would be like 250 to 300 grand, which it would be a lot, but he would be forcing to appreciate it. He's expecting like $50,000 to $60,000 in net cash flow, even with an interest rate above 7%.
Jeez Louise.
So
That's insane.
We found it on the app. He's decking it out.
Yep.
And his interest rate's above 7%. So when people are like, oh, interest rates are too high, he's still going to make 50 to 60 grand per year net after all expenses. And when interest rates go down, it's only going to get better.
And that just shows that, like, when you take the time to actually make your property into like a legit short-term rental, you will just skyrocket with your cash flow. Meaning that, like, you're not going to put mom and pa's floral couch in the property. You want to hire an interior designer. If you are great at designing yourself, start decking it out and make it into an experience and not just like a place to stay. Because what the successful investors are doing is they are hiring people like Summer Led or Showplace or any other, interior designer, and they are making it unique. If you have the amazing amenities and the style, you can cash flow so much. And just don't add that floral couch. The floral couch, it's out of style, guys. You can't do that anymore.
I know. But it's understanding your market, looking at the comps, and that's why the comps dashboard, which we can talk about more in a minute, is really nice because you can literally just see all your comps.
Yeah.
And do what they're doing or better and elevate that experience because it's gone from, a few years ago, anyone could be an Airbnb investor to then, really to actually make money, you needed to have better design and amenities. And then now where we're at is not only does that matter, you've got to be able to like capture their imagination with this incredible experience.
Yep. Do the lifestyle. Like they
They'll
need
buy
to
self
envision
photos.
themselves in there.
Exactly. So there's just more competition, but honestly, there's more opportunity because the more you can capture people's imaginations, like you can demand enormous premiums. Like I just got a $4,000 booking for one weekend in College Station for 2 nights.
Hell yeah. That's
Because like
awesome.
it's football season, and UT
Yeah.
A&M when we hosted UT at A&M, we made $12,000 in literally one weekend.
Oh my gosh.
Just because people are willing to pay for incredible experiences and a premium uh, experience, essentially.
Yeah, and we are kind of getting off topic right now, but do you see those properties that, just don't have the design or, the correct systems in place? Do you kind of see those moving out of the market, selling those properties to investors that will actually, take it to the next level?
Well, honestly, I'm seeing this right now, especially like Galveston or Bolivar Beach, and many other places across the country. There is a lot of inventory stacking up.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, I think, tried to get into this game and just didn't know what they're doing, or just trying to be lazy with it. And so a lot of these buyers that we bought 2 or 3 years ago are now getting in a crunch and they're trying to sell
Yep.
because they're like, oh, it's not profitable. I'm making negative cash flow, blah, blah, blah. My 3 to 5 year interest is now bumping up. And so I think it's an incredible time to be a buyer right now, especially in the markets I've seen. And I would even love to hear your perspective from Wisconsin because
Yeah.
you're able to scoop up, I think, incredible deals, negotiate great seller concessions, and take advantage of things right now before the market starts getting crazy again.
Yep.
Deck it out with design, and then you're going to be positioned extremely well over the next few years. So I'd love to hear your perspective
Oh my
of
gosh.
in Wisconsin.
Yeah, Matt. So I literally just got under contract, I would say 2 or 3 weeks ago for a client of mine. We got the property 45K under the asking price. And we're not talking like $1 million property. Like this was literally at 500,000, got it under or got 45K off. And now my client is just going to cash flow way more. And we are kind of seeing that in Wisconsin too, where there's a lot of properties that, were bought 3, 4, 5 years ago, had the mom and pop furniture, and now they're just not seeing the revenue because all of these higher end investors are coming in and
Yeah.
making an amazing experience. Because if you just have to pay, $100 a night or $50 a night more to have an amazing experience, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So we're seeing a lot of investors are actually selling their Airbnbs in Wisconsin, and then the higher end investors are scooping them up, which is, I think, really great. But also, it's one of those things that, when as a listing agent, when I'm trying to sell a short term rental and people are like, hey, I want the P&L or how much is it revenuing? And the numbers I provide them, they don't like it. Sometimes they pass. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. These are the numbers for what this client was doing, but you have to look at their design. You have to look at their management, their reviews, and all that might not be great. And you can make it into a amazing property. Just because the numbers aren't there yet does not mean that they won't be.
Yeah, it's usually just a lot of poor operators. And that's where the savvy investors should come in and scoop those up and realize, hey, they did not have like a guesty or hospitable managing this thing. They didn't
Yep.
have design. If you see someone that's like, only listed on one platform and no design, it's just like, that's an incredible opportunity to get in there.
100%. I think that there's opportunity all over the United States and honestly, Wisconsin too. And not to be like biased with Wisconsin, but I feel like that Wisconsin is just so under the radar and people just don't think about this state. And there's amazing opportunities in Wisconsin with the purchase price. Like a 5 bedroom home is only around $500 to $600,000. Like it's not that expensive
Yeah.
versus like
Yeah.
obviously
Way more.
California and New York and all that stuff.
Well, hey, I
And
did want to ask you though, because
yeah,
after I was telling my wife that we're having this podcast, she's like, "Ooh, Wisconsin," And so, and
Exactly.
one of my buddies, I think I told you this earlier, invested in Wisconsin. I think like on the northern end, like where Green Bay is.
Yep.
But he's making like 130,000 in revenue, and I think his purchase price was like 500 or 600,000. I'm like, good grief, dude. So I want to ask you, where are the opportunities you're seeing right now in Wisconsin?
Yeah. So where a lot of people are going right now is a place called Baraboo.
Okay.
And I know you're like about to
I'm gonna
go
look at the
online
map
and be
right
like,
now.
where's Baraboo? Baraboo is a little bit south of Wisconsin Dells. Have you heard of Wisconsin Dells before?
Yeah.
Okay, so Wisconsin Dells is the largest water park, and so many people flock to Wisconsin Dells. But Wisconsin Dells is honestly really hard to get into for short-term rentals.
Okay.
So what people are doing is they're looking at the outer skirts, and Baraboo has the most gorgeous hiking in Wisconsin. And not only do they have the hiking, they have the ski resorts. They are about like 15, 20 minutes away from Wisconsin Dells.
Yeah.
Like Baraboo is, sorry for swearing, but Baraboo's the shit. Like I love
Really?
Baraboo. Yeah.
Cool.
Another great place is around Door County. Door County is kind of like cracking down a little bit on short term rentals, but still so much potential there.
Okay.
And honestly, what people are always forgetting is what you just said, Green Bay. Green Bay Packers. You have the NFL football team right there. And
She
their
said,
real yeah, buddy.
no.
And our real estate there is so cheap still. And I
Really?
remember my husband, when we were looking for our primary house, he sent me this one gorgeous house. It was literally everything that I wanted. It was in our budget. And I'm like, Clay, we need to drive, because at the time we were in Green Bay, because that's where his parents live. And at
Yeah.
the time I was like, Clay, we need to rush home to Madison. I need to see this house. Like, let's go get it. And he was like, did you look at like the mailing address, like the city that's in? I was like, obviously it's in Madison. Like, you literally just sent it to me. Why would you send me any other town? He's like, this is in Green Bay. I was like, oh my God. This house in Madison would be around like $600,000 to $700,000 because Madison's pretty expensive. It's the capital of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And the fact that that house was at the time, like, I think it was $350,000. I was like, this is so dirt cheap.
No way.
Yeah. Now, like, that was granted, that was 4 years ago, so it went up a little bit, but their real estate's cheap. And it's, you have the football team there. So you know for a fact that the weekends are going to be so great.
Green Bay fans. I mean, I don't know if there's any greater fans than Green Bay fans. They
We are
are
crazy, aren't
hard.
we? Yeah. We
Yeah.
like to drink a little bit too much.
And I grew up a cheesehead too, so I do love
Did
some
you?
Packers. Oh yeah, Brett
Where?
Favre was my
Oh
idol
my
back
gosh.
in the day.
Yep. Where did you grow up?
Oh, I grew up in Earth, Texas.
Oh.
Most like random name ever, but
I was about to say, where is that?
hilarious. People are like Earth, Texas, Erath, what? So Lubbock, Texas is like the panhandle of Texas, where Texas Tech is, and
Uh-huh.
Earth is literally like an hour north of Lubbock. My dad's a farmer and a crop
Nice.
duster. He grew up flying airplanes and driving tractors, and I grew up on a farm.
I
So,
love that.
and then here I am in Houston.
Farm boy turned into a tech app
I know,
owner.
and I'm like, how the heck did I get into like software? But here I am. I'm in Houston, like fourth largest city in the U.S., doing
Oh,
commercial
that's
real estate
awesome.
and software, and yet my
Yeah.
dad is a farmer. So, uh,
I love that though. That's so cool. And like knowing that you didn't grow up as like a very wealthy man and just like putting this as a side hustle, like this is your full time and you're putting your heart and soul into this app. And whenever you speak about it, you could tell like, you just light up, which is so amazing to see because,
yeah,
if you are so passionate about the app, then you know that it's legit,
yeah.
right? So,
Well, I'm talking about my background a little bit. I think one of the reasons I'm most excited about it and like excited for any listener here is because many of us have read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Have you read that?
yes, of course.
Great book. It's, hey, buy assets, not liabilities, and buy assets that then could fund your liabilities and all this stuff. And, that book really made an impact in my life. And what I realized getting into real estate is the sheer fact, if you can own one home, that can change your family's legacy for like generations to come by owning one home. Now imagine if you own your primary house and maybe one investment. That could dramatically change your entire family's, grandkids,
Generations.
kids,
Yeah.
generations to come. And so I've just realized the impact of real estate and real estate investing and just how positive that can be, just not only for you personally, but like for your kids and your grandkids and just everyone in your family line. And so, yes, we want to make money. Yes, we want to make great returns. Yes, we want to host people and get tax write-offs and all that stuff. But like more than that, like our main purpose of what we're doing is we're trying to make real estate investing more accessible to everyone, because you and I have received the benefit of it and all the fruits that come and the blessings that come with real estate. That's why STRIQ or STRIQ exists, is we want to make it more accessible for everyone else to be able to do the same thing and be able to put the tools in their fingertips. So I guess that's why I get really passionate about it, because I came from nothing. Again, we didn't make a whole lot of money. My dad drove tractors. But one of the main reasons my dad has been successful is, yes, he's kind of a farm entrepreneur, but he bought a lot of land and a lot of real estate. And over time, that real estate went way up in value.
Appreciated. Yep.
His businesses did well, but his real estate did better. So I guess the same thing I want to communicate to everyone else, like, hey, your businesses are great. Keep focusing on it, but also buy real estate, because over time it just goes up and you will 100% be thankful for that 20, 30 years from now.
Yeah. And what's the one saying? I feel like every realtor always says it, is the best time to buy is in the past, or something like that. Like yesterday.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that say like, yes, I want to invest in short-term rentals. Like I want to do this, but not a lot of people actually take action on it. And the fact that, STRIQ, it helps people to move forward and take action, because it's not a huge scary thing, because they see those green dots on their map because of their MLS and whatnot. So they see the green dots and they're like, okay, this is saying that this is going to be a great short-term rental. Now, if I want to go the top 90th percentile and be the best, these are what the numbers show as well. But if I just don't have enough capital and want to be, in the 50th, you still will be making money too, which is great. And then eventually you can work up to being on the top 90th. Like I will admit, our very first property, I have 3 short-term rentals right now, working on the 4th. Woot woot.
Great.
Anyways, our very first one, the market, terrible. Like the township, I had no idea anything about the township. And honestly, like I know my husband and I, like we ran numbers, but we didn't really know like the numbers that we were running. Like we were very clueless. And is it performing today? Yes, like we are cash flowing. Honestly, it's not that difficult to cash flow an Airbnb, which is great. But could it be better? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's just like the very, like the thing that you need to do is just get into the market. Just get into the market, get your toes wet, and then see if you like it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, at least you tried, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think, with real estate, it feels like such a big risk because it sounds really expensive. And you're like, what if a tornado hits my house?
My gosh.
Or like, what if the toilet leaks? Like all these fears. And at the end of the day, real estate is like one of the safest investments you could get into. It's less liquid than stock. So like it takes a while to buy it or sell it or move your money around. But that's also the benefit, is it takes a while for other sellers and buyers to buy and sell. So like the market can't just like drop out from underneath you, very
exactly.
And, 2007, 2008 is like an anomaly. Hopefully nothing like that ever happened.
There's a lot of things that were happening back in the day that was shenanigans that we now corrected. Let's just say corrected,
that. Hopefully most of that. So anyway, real estate historically is just a much safer asset. And so I would highly recommend, and this is just because of what I'm doing and what I'm advising my clients, again, I think now is an incredible time to buy. So if
Mm-hmm.
there's fear holding you back, just try to like wrestle with that fear and try to overcome, obviously make sure the numbers work and pencil out, which is why STRIQ exists to help
Yep.
you understand that. But now is an incredible time. And I would just say, be careful if you don't buy now or soon, because I know who's buying now, and that's savvy investors and that's institutions. So
Mm-hmm.
we've worked with Blackstone. There's all these big institutions that have trillions of dollars of dry powder that are
Yep.
sinking into the market right now, like before our very eyes. And we're just not recognizing it because they're doing it silently all over the place. But there's tons of money being sunk into the market right now in short-term rentals and commercial real estate. And if you're an individual out there, if you don't start buying now, you either A, might be left behind, or B, be buying at much higher prices when the market kind of comes back up in the next 12
100%.
months. Is at least my personal opinion.
No, I 100% agree. And I know right now is a buyer's market. And the fact that like my husband and I, we are looking for another short-term rental, and we literally just launched our third one. Like not even, actually I would say a month and a half ago, we launched our third one. And now we are looking to buy the fourth one like right now, because I know that now is the time. And I don't want to sound like that, real estate agent that's like, now's the time, now's the time. Like, I feel like that we are always saying it. But the fact that I was able to get, a client, save him $45,000 off of the purchase price is insane. I couldn't have done that a year ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So that is just proving that if you want to, negotiate and actually be a real estate agent that negotiates and, fights for their client, now's the time. Thinking of listing your property on Airbnb? Here's an exciting opportunity just for you. When you sign up and use my name, Brittany Wenninger, you'll receive exclusive guidance on your profile. I'll work with you personally to make your listing shine, highlighting what makes your property special, appealing to the guests, and ensuring it stands out from the rest. Plus, you'll receive $48 when you launch and host your first guest in 180 days from signing up with the link in my show notes. It's a unique chance to get an insider perspective and boost your listing's appeal from day one. Don't just list your property. Let's make it unforgettable. Again, sign up by clicking the link in the show notes, and let's elevate your Airbnb game together.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and also like the still we did in College Station, they were listed at like, I think 425 or 435. We got them down to like 415, and we got $25,000 in seller credits to
yes, yep.
apply towards, closing costs or reduction of the down payment or reduction of your interest rate. And so right now you can, maximize seller concessions to either save on your closing costs, so that way you can spend more of that money on furniture design, or B, buy down your interest rate for a 30-year term. So you can buy it down from 7.5% down to 6.5% or 6%. And then boom, you're sitting really good for a long time. So if that's my opinion, is like, if you're able to negotiate that seller concessions, I would rather take a lot more of that upfront capital than reduction of the loan.
Yes, yeah.
Buy down the interest rate or get seller concessions and keep my loan a little higher, because who cares?
And
I'm
that, yeah.
my loan.
And that is why it's so important to hire a real estate agent that knows Airbnb, knows short-term rentals, and knows those little tiny tricks and, those little tricks in the offer to actually, save you money in the long run and keep more money in your pocket. Because if this agent doesn't know short-term rentals, they might not know that trick. And actually, quick side note, this is happening to me right now. I'm in a transaction and we did not put that in the initial offer because I knew that, this listing agent would just not go for this offer if we did like the whole seller concession, even if I, explained it very well.
Yeah.
So we still got under contract, and I'm like, hey, let's just do a finance restructure. And then I said, let's do this and this and this and whole 9 yards. And at the end of the day, the seller will still net the same, and there's no risk to the seller. The managing broker literally was like, this is illegal. You can't do it. Like, and then he started saying, like, back in 2008, and I'm like, dude, like, are you... I was just flabbergasted. I was like, one, this is not illegal at
Yeah.
all. I even called the legal hotline for Wisconsin. I was like, show them the whole email chain. I'm like, is what I'm proposing illegal? And they're like, absolutely not.
No.
And I was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So, if you hire a non-short-term rental agent, they would probably think like, oh yeah, like this managing broker saying it's illegal. It's definitely illegal. But since I've done this probably about 25 to 40 times, I know that what I'm doing is not illegal.
Yeah.
And this is the way that investors, save money on the back end, is they do the seller concessions.
Yeah.
And some people are just like so clueless with it. I'm like, guys, come on, help me.
Like one example, and this is just, I mean, I don't know how realistic this could be in Wisconsin, but like say $1 million property, and I'm a broker too, but say we're like working with this client and they're like, hey, I'm an investor. I want to like lowball them. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Ton of like just properties available. So you go in at, I don't know, 800, 850, see what happens.
Might as well.
And then say, they land at 900,000, so $100,000 off, which is like what, 10% of the entire value. So now you've got $100,000 of value you've captured for that client. So yeah, like you're saying, what I would do is I'd get that thing under contract, and then during contract period, talk with the buyer and the lender, if there's a lender involved.
Yep.
And say, okay, well, lender, how much can we apply towards, seller credits? Often lenders are like, no more than 6%, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dang, I negotiated 10%. So there's this 4% delta there. So you could take at least 6% or so to do seller credits, or, buy down to points on the interest rate.
Yep.
So have you had to deal with, like, if you negotiate more than 6% per the lender, if someone's buying without a lender, it doesn't matter. But if someone's buying with the lender and there's a restrictions of anything above 6%, have you had a situation where you take that remaining and with title company and have them pay the contractor direct to still be able to capture that value versus just bringing down the loan amount?
You know what? I have not done that. I have not done that, but you can definitely do it in Wisconsin. And I'm not going to say any lenders or anything like that, but we came across some shenanigans where the lender said, yep, we can use $15,000 of closing costs. Like everything was all good. And then at the end of the day, at closing table, they're like, oh, shoot, here's the new Alta. We can't use all $15,000. We can only use $11,000. So then there was $4,000 just like floating up in the air. And it was just like, come on, lenders, come on. Like, if you're going to say that you can use all 15, use all 15. So now there's 4,000 just floating. So then we had to lower the purchase price again to like make up all that stuff.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is to use that 4,000 to pay off contractors, right?
Yep.
I've never actually thought about that. And I know we can do it. And that is freaking brilliant.
Yeah. So like say, again, it's a buyer's market and you negotiate way more than 6%. If you're a cash buyer, it doesn't really matter. But if you have a lender, you would have to talk to your title company about this. But oftentimes you can capture that value and tell the title company to literally pay your contractor directly. So if it's like a Summerlet or a Funkit or that other group you're talking about, they are contractors. They will be doing work for you. You would not be paying them, but the title company would be paying them, or the seller essentially would be paying your contract.
Yeah. And we do that with like septic and whatnot, like escrow septic and all that good jazz. But I never even thought about like an interior designer before, which is, dang, Matt, you just Mind blown.
Now
Mind
your
blown.
buyers are going to be like, let's go, baby.
I know. And that's the beauty of investments, that there's so many different ways that you can save money on just like a normal transaction. And again, having a savvy real estate agent will save you so much money in the long run.
Yeah.
But you can, like, if you save all that money in the, out of pocket and whatnot, you can actually put that money toward the property and make it into the top 90th percentile and cash flow way more for the Airbnb. And I know that you have an AI feature on STRIQ that helps you with this.
Yes.
Question mark. Yes.
Yes. So
I was about to say, I used it a couple times.
Yeah. So there's really two kind of different user journey experiences. There's the user that wants to buy a property, which is like the Zillow experience. But then there's the user that wants to really maximize revenue potential. They may have found a property or they may already own, but they're like, am I maximizing revenue potential? So like we've got this comps dashboard where you can go in there and see all these Airbnb listings that are your comps. So like you as an agent, when you have a seller that says, hey, I want to sell my house, how much can I sell it for? It's like, well, let me run comps. Let me do a comps analysis, and then I'll come back to you with a competitive market analysis. So, and the same thing, we're basically doing a CMA, competitive market analysis, for your revenue instead of your sales price. And it's taking hundreds of data points, and it's doing a lot of statistical calculations on it, what we call your recipe, to formulate revenue potential. And so I'll get to the AI piece in a second, but
yeah.
Long story short, if you have a 4-bedroom house, Wisconsin and Green Bay next to the stadium, it'll pull in all those comps around that, 3 to 5 mile radius, and it'll give you a range of projections. And why that's important is most revenue providers out there will only give you one number. It'll say, hey, this property can make 70,000. And it's like, okay, 70,000, that's a good number. It's an average number, but like, what if I'm better than average? What if I'm worse? Blah, blah. That's where this is helpful. It's because it's like, hey, if I know I'm going to spend the capital, I know I'm a better operator, I know I could crush it with this property. What can I do if I'm better than average? What if I'm, instead of the 50th percentile, what if I'm the 75th? Or what if I'm the 90th? What if I'm the premium, the luxury?
Yep.
What does that look like? And so as an example, my College Station property, it said if I was average, I could make 70,000. But if I was better than average, I could make 100. And if I was the best, I could make 120 to 125,000. And right now I'm on track for about 100 to 105,000. And that's a heck of a lot more than 70,000.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's what's important about understanding your comps and the ranges, because if you're a savvy investor, you spend the money in the right way, you can generate way more money if you know what you're doing. And that's what's helpful about that. I'll pause there before I say anything about AI. Any other questions on that?
No, I love the fact that, there's a scale to that of, hey, this is what an average property will perform. But if you want to be the best of the best, this is actually what you can potentially do. And I'm working with a client right now. He has a very average short-term rental in Airbnb. And he was like, hey, Britt, how do I make this better? And I honestly went into STRIQ last night. And I was like, all right, let's start plugging and chugging and figuring out what you need to do to get it to that top performer.
Amazing.
Yeah. And one of the features I use is the AI feature.
Okay.
Yep. And
oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, and I was just about to say, and it showed me, like, it said, hey, a lot of these comps in the area, they have either a hot tub or an in-ground pool, and those are the top performers. They have all those things. So then now I can go up to my investor and say, like, hey, if you actually want to be a top performer, you may want to think about having a hot tub, because here in Wisconsin, our winters are the slow months, and we need to make sure that, we kind of change that around. And if you have a hot tub, you can advertise that in the wintertime and make it a little bit more enjoyable.
Yeah.
So.
Well, very cool. Well, I love hearing that you're getting to use it with your clients and having some good stories. Hopefully there's many more that will come.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm most excited about is we've got some limited AI features that are there right now, adding value. So giving you, demographics of that market, top amenities that you need to be looking at, some high level like regulation information and revenue ranges of that market. But what's going to be amazing, and this is what's coming on AI, is you as the investor or the agent can go in there and interact with the technology, and you can say, hey, STRIQ, and you start typing in like kind of like a chat GPT feature. Hey, I've got this property in Wisconsin, what is it? Well,
Wisconsin Dells.
Wisconsin Dells.
Yep.
And my client's making like $60,000. It's a 4-bedroom, but I think it can make so much more. Can you give me some insights of how this property can perform better? And it just like will look at all the data. It'll look at all your comps, all the pictures of your comps, and it will give recommendations and say, hey, your client doesn't have a hot tub. You may want to recommend putting in a hot tub. Hey, the picture order that your client has a lot of like interior living room pictures, but you may want to have like a hero shot, like your main picture. You may want to incorporate some lifestyle photos. You may want to put in a putting green, or basically it's going to leverage all the data set, but interact with you kind of like a chat GPT feature.
Yeah.
That is coming soon.
That is super exciting because I know that the order of photos is also very important, because people usually will just look at the first 5 and then they will make their decision with the first 5 photos.
Right.
And knowing that you can just plug that into STRIQ and say like, hey, like help me reorder these is amazing, because that's the part that I hate organizing photos, because I overthink everything. And I'm like literally staring at like 30 photos. I'm like, how do I get the most out of these photos? And my husband, he just makes fun of me because he's like, they're photos. Just put it up online. I'm like, no, they're not just photos. Like,
so much more than that. You got to
so much more. Come on.
What's going to be really cool is it's going to just take millions of pieces of information and streamline it in an easier, digestible way. Like, and give you actually like actionable insights into things that you can do to like see real money, real opportunity, through things you may have missed. Like another example, someone's like, man, I think I could be making more money, and we'll get in there with them and I'll look at their listing and then put it into STRIQ. And I'm like, hey, you're listing only 8 people total, but you could actually do 10. Like, do you have an extra bed somewhere? Like, can you get up to 10 people? And she's like, oh yeah, we could do that. I'm like, well, there you go. Like,
let's do it then.
Like $10,000 per year, probably because you just added 2 people. And she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. So it's,
and that is the beauty of this
fruit, essentially.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of STRIQ. And that's why I'm so excited for this app, because there's just so much opportunity that will, 1, save you time, and 2, just point out all, like what you just said, all the low hanging fruit, and just point that out. And, the light bulb moment of like, oh my gosh, literally, if I just change the order of my photos, I can get more money. Or if I just add more people to the property, I can get more money. Like, that is so amazing to me that it's easy.
Yeah.
And that's what we love. Easy, right?
That's what we want. I know. Yeah. I mean, and that's what's just cool about AI and data. Like, you're seeing it with Google now rolling out AI, even X or Twitter. It's just streamlining everything and making it easier. So real estate investing used to take months. It used to take hours of just pain and analyses. And now things are just going from months to weeks to now even minutes. And that's where, like, now on the app, our tagline is like, hey, find profitable properties in minutes, not months. And it's true. Like, I found my College Station property in like 2 minutes.
Amazing.
But once you find it, the data's there, but now you have to get over your fears. It's like, oh, I see the data, but like, I'm still kind of scared, so that's where you have to like reassure yourself and build the confidence. And how you build the confidence is through the the STRIQ dashboard, because that shows you all the data you need to know to have a confident purchase decision.
You love calling it STRIQ.
I know.
Yeah.
I guess
STRIQ is on to you.
Well,
yep.
I'll go with both.
Yeah, we're just going with both. STRIQ, STRIQ, whatever.
I
So
know.
besides the AI feature, is there any other feature that you see coming up? Because I know that your dash or your desktop version is a lot different than the app version. So are you seeing that those are going to start to combine, hopefully, that I can just like go on to the desktop and, be like a Zillow, or is it just going to be the app?
Well, a couple things. We are working on a platform where it'll integrate all of it together because I know it's two kind of separate features right now.
Yep.
But a couple things that are coming out. One, we're about to roll out a brand new free tier. Which would be
Oh,
cool. So I'm excited about that because there's like a lot of newer investors that are like, I kind of want to know about this, but I don't know if I'm willing to pay So
yep.
what we wanted to do is lower the barrier of entry to everybody, let everyone get into the game that is like exploring, trying to learn, be educated, get value. And so we're rolling out this free tier that.
And this is a money tier, right? Like the package.
So we've got a free essentials tier, and then it's going to be a pro tier, which is like a lot more value packed for when you're ready to pay for that and actually get that paid. But we have not rolled that out yet publicly. This is actually the first time I'm announcing it. So anyone that's listening could get access to our free tier that literally just rolled out like yesterday.
This is so exciting. Okay, tell me more.
So if anyone listening would like access to that for free, reach out to Brittany or myself, and we will get you access to it. You can experience it and start your investment journey. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, we started with the investor journey of those looking to buy properties. Then we looked secondly into those that wanted to optimize their property to maximize revenue potential. So those are the two products we have. Okay. What's coming down the road is for those that want to sell their property to where either you as the agent or the investor can put it on the platform and boost the visibility of that property directly to your core investor base. So we can capture both, the entire market, buyers, those trying to optimize their property, and trying to sell their property. So if anyone is interested in the selling aspect of this, including agents or whoever else listening, we are creating a wait list for that and would be happy to discuss that if there's interest.
Matt, this is huge. One, sign me up on the wait list, please. And two, that also helps out with trying to find existing Airbnbs that you can look at them and be like, all right, I could definitely like redo the design and the softwares and all that stuff and make it into a bigger and better property. And that's huge. And
see, think about the seller aspect of this. There's a couple of things on that. So like investors that maybe have a lot of money and they're like, I just want to know that this thing is going to perform. Like, I don't want like guesstimates.
Yeah.
If you have clients that are actively selling Airbnbs and they have historical revenue and profitability and they're crushing it, or who knows if they're not crushing it or crushing it, you can list it on the platform and actually show the revenue and expenses and income.
Yep.
And then we could even have a STRIQ verified property that they could filter for. So buyers, if they don't want to look at any property other than verified properties that are actually Airbnbs right now, that is a feature we will have in the future, which will be really cool for both sellers and buyers for those that want to sell active Airbnb investments. So that's the wait list we're building right now.
I love that. And I actually was talking to another real estate agent yesterday. She's going to be selling her Airbnb and she is performing very well. And I'm like, why would you sell this? Like, you have everything up and running. Your photos are gorgeous. Your design is gorgeous. Why are you selling? And she's like, I have 3 kids. This is not my passion. And I feel like I'm doing the property disservice. There we go. Thank you. Doing this property oh my God, disservice. You know what? My listeners, they always know I cannot say certain words. We're just going to say that's going to be one of them. Yeah. But anyways, she's like, this property, I love it. it's performing well. I just need to let go with
Yeah.
of it. And I'm like, all right, well, I have investors lined up, so hopefully I can find a buyer for you. But some people just want to sell just because, not because it's not performing, but life is busy and that's not their passion. And I love this feature. I'm getting red right now because I'm super excited about this, to be honest.
And it's fun because we all know the MLSs, they're good and bad at the same time. But the thing is, if you own an Airbnb property and you're marketing it as an Airbnb property and you put it only on the MLS, well, it's factored in there with all these other homes that may or may not be Airbnbs. Most of them aren't. But imagine if you could just put it on this one-stop shop platform for STR investors and literally market that property directly to your consumer base with your data and, present it to them. I mean, I think it'll be super valuable.
Huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for everything that STRIQ has to offer. And I know the app is already amazing, and all the future features that are going to come out is just going to make it even more amazing. And that's so nice of you to offer that to my listeners of, just trying out that one tier. And you guys, you need to actually try it out because this is a huge pain point that has now been solved. And I'm way too excited about it. And you can tell by the tone of my voice that I'm actually excited about this.
Hey, well, we will have to find a couple properties near Green Bay. Maybe we'll go do some deals together.
There you go.
I mean, I told you my wife is very excited about looking up there. And before we made STRIQ, she was always on Zillow looking around. So I'm sure she'll now be looking at Wisconsin, trying to see what she could find. And by
Wisconsin's
the way,
awesome.
For the listeners, just FYI, if you go to the STRIQ website, you will not see this free tier there. It's only our paid plans with the free trial, which you're happy to sign up for. But I would recommend reaching out to Brittany or me because it's a private thing. We haven't rolled out publicly. So to get access to the free tier, you have to reach out to one of us to be able to get that exclusive access.
And we will hook you up. This is amazing. I love this. Well, how can people actually find you? I'll put it in the show notes, but how can people find you?
Reach out to me on Instagram. I'm there. Also LinkedIn. A lot of people reach out to me there, which is funny because a lot of people think LinkedIn's a big platform, but
I don't even have a LinkedIn, which is funny.
You should get a LinkedIn.
I really should.
It's funny. Most people, I guess my community are in LinkedIn. So I get more people that reach out to me on LinkedIn than any other platform.
Wild. I need to get on it. I know. Well, I used to have a profile, and that's when I was trying to find a job.
Okay.
So clearly that was a while ago, and I need to update it because I'm not looking for any job because this is my passion. But yes.
Yeah. Well, and the other place would be my email. It's matt.sanderson@striq.com, and happy to reach out direct and happy to help however I can.
This is awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I am so excited for the future of STRIQ.
Oh,
love how I just changed it.
Convert you on the call.
I think so.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm excited to be working a lot more with you, and hopefully we'll have some fun case studies soon with the customers that we'll both have.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt.
Okay. Thanks, Brittany. Bye.
Thanks for joining me on the Airbnb Roadmap. If you're loving these episodes and want to keep the conversation going, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with someone who's ready to dive into the world of short-term rentals. Got a question or topic you would love to hear about? Reach out. This podcast is all about learning and growing together. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the Airbnb Roadmap Podcast, for more tips, tricks, and behind-the-scene insights. Until next time, here's to turning your short-term rental dreams into thriving realities. I'll see you back here soon.